Alexandria, the jewel of the Mediterranean, stands as a testament to a rich and storied past. Founded by Alexander the Great, this Egyptian port city has witnessed the rise and fall of empires. Today, however, Alexandria faces a new threat. Climate change is slowly claiming this ancient city. Rising sea levels are a visible and terrifying reality. The city's battle against the sea is a stark reminder of the global climate crisis. The time for action is now. Alexandria's buildings are collapsing at an alarming rate. Once symbols of the city's spirit, these structures now crumble under the sea's assault. Over 2 decades, Alexandria has seen over 280 building collapses. This trend has accelerated terrifyingly. What was rare is now horrifyingly common. Recently, up to 40 buildings collapse annually. Between 2014 and 2020, 86 buildings gave way, 201 partially collapsed. These tragedies claimed 85 lives, highlighting the human cost of climate change. This is just the tip of the iceberg. 7,000 buildings in Alexandria are at risk of collapse. Thousands live under the constant threat of losing their homes. The collapse of Alexandria's buildings represents the erosion of the city's history and identity. Each crumbling structure is a painful reminder of the city's vulnerability to climate change. The primary culprit behind Alexandria's crumbling infrastructure is the insidious creep of seawater. As sea levels rise, saltwater is forced into the city's foundations, setting off a chain reaction of destruction. The very ground upon which Alexandria stands is being slowly eaten away. Saltwater is a corrosive force, and its impact on Alexandria's buildings is devastating. It erodes the soil, weakening the very foundation upon which structures stand. Buildings, once strong and resilient, become precariously balanced on increasingly unstable ground. But the damage doesn't stop there. Seawater also attacks the structural integrity of the buildings themselves. It seeps into concrete, slowly corroding the steel reinforcements that hold these structures together. This hidden corrosion weakens buildings from the inside out, making them more susceptible to collapse. The consequences of seawater intrusion are far-reaching. It undermines the safety and stability of Alexandria's infrastructure, putting the lives of its residents at risk. This insidious threat is a constant reminder of the city's vulnerability to the rising seas. Alexandria's struggle is not an isolated incident, it is a stark warning of the global crisis unfolding before our eyes. Rising sea levels are a consequence of climate change, a phenomenon driven by human activity. As we continue to pump greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, we are warming the planet and causing glaciers and ice sheets to melt at an alarming rate. Since 1880, global sea levels have risen by 8 to 9 inches. What's even more concerning is that the rate of rise is accelerating. A staggering 4 inches of that rise has occurred just since 1993. Scientists predict that this trend will continue, with sea levels potentially rising by as much as 7.2 feet by the year 2100. These projections paint a dire picture for coastal communities around the world. A sea level rise of this magnitude would inundate low-lying areas, displace millions of people, and cause billions of dollars in damage. Alexandria, with its rich history and vibrant culture, is just one of many cities at risk. The fight against climate change is a global imperative. We must act now to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of this crisis. Failure to do so will have catastrophic consequences, not just for Alexandria but for humanity as a whole.